Israeli Supreme Court says ultra-Orthodox must serve in military.
Here's a summary of the article.
Jerusalem. Israel's Supreme Court on Tuesday ruled unanimously that the military must begin drafting ultra-Orthodox men for compulsory service, a landmark decision that could lead to the collapse of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's governing coalition as Israel continues to wage war in Gaza. The historic ruling effectively puts an end to a decades-old system that granted ultra-Orthodox men broad exemptions from military service while maintaining mandatory enlistment for the country's secular Jewish majority. The court ruled that in the absence of a law, Israel's compulsory military service applies to the ultra-Orthodox like any other citizen. Under long-standing arrangements, ultra-Orthodox men have been exempt from the draft, which is compulsory for most Jewish men and women, who serve 3 and 2 years respectively, as well as reserve duty until around age 40. During arguments, government lawyers told the court that forcing ultra-Orthodox men to enlist would tear Israeli society apart. The ruling of Israel's highest court must be followed, and the military is expected to begin doing so once it forms a plan for how to draft thousands of members of a population that's deeply opposed to service, and which follows a cloistered and modest lifestyle the military may not be immediately prepared to accommodate. The court also ruled that state subsidies for seminaries where exempted ultra-Orthodox men study should remain suspended.
This post received a score of 16,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
I have heard that when the exemption was first created, only a couple hundred people qualified for the exemption. Since then, the number of ultra-Orthodox has grown to a large number.
According to today's news, in 1949 it was 400 who qualified. End of 2023 there were 63,000 exemptions.
Yeah, it seems very much like a having their cake and eating it too, for the exemption seekers.
No, according to them they are the true Israel, and without them there's no point to Israel. Scary mofos for real.
So the other peasants should go fight for them? LMAO, the audacity.
They legit believe Israel only exists through their prayer. It's like they watched the never-ending story and built their beliefs out of it.
Holy fucking shit.
We're all waiting for this to actually be enforced. Not sure how they plan on handling this because there's already riots over it. Military jails aren't so large. Definitely not for like 2 to 3% of the population. It will need to be a monetary fine, restriction before this is normalized, will probably take years too.
Isn't this group very dependent on social programs? Seems like cutting them off will be a pretty good stick.
Greater than isn't this group very dependent on social programs? Absolutely, this is the straw that will break the camel's back. A lot of the ultra-conservative have +5 children in care and need those programs to survive. The government was indulgent until recently since they were the main force behind Israel increasing its population.
Having a larger population that doesn't work, serves no public functions, doesn't pay taxes and lives off social programs isn't really a solution to demographic issues. It just increases the strain on the system. The government was indulgent because they're a good voting base.
The thing is, 20 years ago there was good evidence that a significant portion of the children would leave ultra-Orthodox communities and reintegrate as religiosity tends to decrease in future generations. That turned out to be largely false because these communities don't educate their children in a way that allows them to become free from their communities. This is exactly why they are against service, because whenever these kids get opportunities and get shown education options post-IDF etc., they tend not to return to ultra-Orthodoxy.
Yes, serving in the military will allow, and really force another view of the world on their children. And give them a way out.
War is a vastly different beast when you have to actually participate in it yourself versus shouting furiously from the sidelines.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.